wild with the gunfights.
What is that map? That's probably Chalet these days.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be Corsan, not particularly strat heavy. Just get on there and just absolutely, you know, go wild at each other with the guns. But yeah, we don't have Corsan in the pool anymore. But I think Oregon, like I say, is not too
in the pool.
In the pool.
The pool. You say it like it's spelled P-E-W-L.
Pool.
The rest of us say P-O-O-L. Pool.
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 You say pool.
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 I'm not saying pull, I'm saying pool.
It's the oo sound. I'm putting the oo sound in there.
Pool.
Pool.
Yeah, no, because you do like an ew
sound.
Pool.
Don't worry, your stream hasn't stuck. It's not just repeating the word pool. It's just Des and I. So we have got the bands ready.
Hang on. There's someone else here with us.
Des people will go mad if we don't go over the bands. We've got Easy with us as well on the observing as well.
The OG's back. Oh, there he is, screaming down my earlobes. That was such a beautiful sound, Easy. Hello, beautiful.
It's very loud. That's probably more at my end than his, to be fair.
It was pretty loud at mine as well.
Because Easy's generally very quiet. The bans that came in, Ying, interestingly, just protecting against that double window push into dorms. We've got Thatcher as well, Mira Kaid, and don't really need to discuss them too much. Fairly straightforward at the end in terms of the defenders. But the Ying is an interesting one. We've seen Ying use a couple of times. There's a lot of shouting going on that other stream. We've seen Ying used a couple of times on Oregon. Like I've said before, it's used on the double window into dorms to try and cover that, but also we've seen a lot of Ying use to get into electrical, to get into pillars, either from rear stage stairs, down through electrical hatch. We've had the Candelas being used quite heavily in those areas as well, so no surprise to see the Ying go in this time.
It's a good point actually, because we were casting our game, we didn't see what happened over on the other stream because it was FaZe against, I forget who they played, but that was the third game, and this last one I believe is FaZe versus G2. Now, based on how that last game went, and I will find out in just a second what it was, G2 could be in position to take away the top spot in that group. I'm looking now. That is actually really interesting. So, oh no, FaZe are playing against Soniqs. How did that finish? That's where it finished. Maybe it hasn't been updated yet. But based on the outcome of that game, G2 would be within striking distance of taking first place away from FaZe, assuming Soniqs had lost that game, won that game, sorry. Imagine a world. Right, imagine G2 after... Oh, we've got an opening kill there. Bibu going to go straight in and get a headshot onto Laxing. Look at this. Wolves not messing about, getting straight into meeting there, taking that early challenge. They've got control of the hatch. Oxygen were trying to play with the hatch open by the looks of things and just defend meeting. Sorry, no, Wolves have played with the hatch open more to the point, and they've tried to get in there quickly. Laxing trying to just get control of that area to be able to lock it down before they could move away, and Bibu gets the kill and protects it. Second one comes in, and this is looking good for Wolves. I think what you're going to find in this game is because OXG have been generally quite slow, and lethargic is a word that I really like using lately. They've been quite lethargic, they've been a bit behind the pace, they've lacked a bit of energy at times. They will get run out of Oregon by Wolves here, who, as we saw back on Chalet, are very comfortable going hyper-aggressive on roams, getting busy around the map and making the enemy team fight for every single step of land that they want to be able to take here inside of Oregon. It's becoming a thing across a lot of teams, and Mowgli's already finding himself hitting some nasty shots. He had a slow start to the last game, but did warm up as it went on, and here is starting out strong. His counterpart in Nuas was a matchup I was really excited to see here. When we saw the group, so I was like, Nuas versus Mowgli. Oh, two of the best gunners we've got in the world right now. It'll be an absolute screamer. But Nuas hasn't really hit the highs that he did regionally.
No, he's not really, as you say, you know, giving us exactly what we might have seen in his NAL play days. But we've got Wolves pretty much back on site now. They're 4 versus 2. They're happy to just try and hold this one down from inside the site. Nothing wrong with that. Nuas is going to open up the bottom of Laundry Stairs, maybe just attract a little bit of attention from Wolves. But I don't think he's going to overly push that at the minute. He's just going down there with the drone for the time being, see what's going on. Dream does manage to get himself established down in Freezer. We know the value of multi-angle pushes down here into the basement. Dream gets aggressive though, pushing right up to the lockers, and it's Rise that steps out, manages to get the kill. They've got a good idea that the last man is going to be coming in. It's Nuas down at the bottom of the Laundry Stairs now. He tries to take the challenge, shut down by Bibu, and that's going to be round 1 going to Wolves.
I saw the timing on that as well. It was so natural, but 2 players swinging at once, one from either side, a third there to take in case someone did go down. Just no way Nuas walks away with all 3 kills there, and even if he had, Wolves had done absolutely everything right. So in the first round, bullying OXG around the map, getting rid of 2 or 3 players before the site even became a thing, down in the diffuser inside of Freezer with no one able to pick it up. Really good round by Wolves, and this is what I'm worried about for OXG. They've got to get razor sharp at playing for trades and pushing as a team, because like I remember seeing in their last game at the stage against, it was XSET, against XSET on Villa, they were pushing a little bit independently at points, taking a lot of 1v1s, and just losing out to the superior gun skill, at least on the day, from members of XSET. And this round really reminded me of that.
Up we go to the top floor for round number 2 then. Wolves going to be holding on to Dorms this time around. Banshee placed just to prevent any push coming in through Attic, at least unknown. Are they going to reinforce both sides of that trophy wall? Yes, they are. Sometimes we see one side left open to allow the player in pit to be able to challenge through to top armory corridor, to be able to challenge through to trophy, but this time, no, they're going to lock that one down, suggesting that they are expecting a bit of action coming in through Attic. Now, interestingly, Shinka's opened up the wall into Closet, opened it as a rotate as well. So they're definitely going to have to play that area because, of course, attackers quite often like to breach there and look to push into games. So if you're going to open it for them, you better be ready to hold on to it.
Absolutely. Well, here, making use of that as army that has been banned away in so many games today. I think of the 4 games we've cast, it was banned away in all of the first 3. So it's one of our first experiences getting it on the board here today. Also heard that apparently G2 have just won 7-0. Ouch. That was against FaZe as well.
G2.
Now, Easy, it was Easy who spoke down my earlugs then. Easy, do you know what the score was that the game was against Soniqs, between FaZe and Soniqs? It was a 7-5, we don't know which team though.
Soniqs won.
Soniqs won. Oh, so that means G2 would take first place then. If G2 have just 7-0, they've just jumped to first place in their group.
Just think of G2, Playday 1, Playday 2 in EUL, and if I said to you, G2 are going to top their group at the Berlin Major, A, you'd have laughed at me because you'd have said there was no way they were going to qualify for the Berlin Major, and B, because there was certainly no way they were therefore going to be topping the group, but they have got it job done, and they're going to head into the playoffs in style. Foxy manages to take down Mowgli. That's always a big start when you can take the Malusi off the board, start to clear that game that's being played underneath by Wolves. Just about at the halfway mark, they still need to take P4 out, Nitro in hand, so he's definitely a threat. He's going to try to keep himself in position underneath here, just rotating from kitchen through to security. This is a really common position that we see the defenders playing in lately, and basically the reason that he's there is to try and deny any access coming in through double window, any plant going down inside of there. The idea is, if anybody hops in, he uses the Nitro and he shuts down that push.
Whew. Well, that was fun revelation, yeah. So Soniqs won against FaZe and G2 won 7-0. So here we are, Tim. We're in a world where G2 have just taken first spot of the group. I never thought I'd see that, and I know 100% what's going to happen. I want to get buried by the G2 social media manager because I predicted that they would finish 4th in their group. Cannot wait for that. Anyway, let's focus more on our game here. We've had a little bit of time scrolling through Wikipedia and seeing what's going on and getting some information back and forth. 4v3 for Wolves in this round. Again, playing the disruptive start, bringing down 2 of the hot entries on the side of OXG. Nuas and Vertical had a wonderful game at the start of the day. To be fair, not just because I've seen this shot as well, I do want to commend Dream. He's played Ace an awful lot over the games they've played so far, and he has had some really good rounds where he's hit some nasty shots whilst doing his supportive job as well. So although he's not shining on the kill feed all the time and getting himself up there to be double-digit kills consistently, I do really feel his impact as a support player.
He just got himself away from almost certain death there as well as the Toxic Babe canister come out. He's on very low health at the minute. One lungful would have almost certainly seen him down and dead. Fox here going up to the top of White Stairs, but Rise is there, peeking at just the right time. Manages to find his man. 3 versus 2, 13 seconds left to go. Laxing almost shut down inside of Attic, but they're going to need 2 more kills to come out of him here as Shinka finds Dream elsewhere in the map. Laxing pushing through. 5 seconds left to go. Wolves just aren't going to take the fight here. They know where it is. Rise manages to see his man through the door, and that's going to be Wolves 2-0.
Comfortable is generally how I describe it so far. A couple of scary moments for sure, but Wolves looking largely undisturbed by Oxygen. I mentioned it earlier on that Oxygen felt a bit lethargic, a little bit slow at points as well. Not really played for trades all that much. And Wolves so far feeling very comfortable playing against that kind of play style. Meeting the kitchen we jump into next. It is the off-site. So if we're going to see Oxygen succeed, this is the kind of site where they should be shining. Always curious to see if on the attacking side we have the attackers re-pick into bringing along an Ossa. Those of you who have watched a lot of the national leagues, regional leagues, such as APAC North, EUL, often what we see is teams attacking through the stage wall, which Easy is very expertly showing now. Thank you very much. You'll have shields placed up on the ground floor, also on the upstairs floor to control inside of Attic. And it just gives you a really commanding position as the attackers to get a smoke plant down, for example. The only fear that you need to have is a flank coming in from the basement. And the number of times that teams have fluffed it up and not had a flank drone downstairs, or simply haven't been aware or conscious of the idea that someone could come from below, has cost more rounds than it should have. But either way, normally a very strong attack. OXG, I don't think, are going for that, given there is no Ossa on side. Instead, moving over to bring in the Ace and the Nomad as their extra picks.
Water utility expended upstairs. We can see a majority of the reinforcements heading in that direction, so that tells us that Wolves really are expecting some top floor pressure to come in from OXG. Newers is looking for that initial engagement straight away, but instead he's going to take about 60 damage there, and he's going to be looking to use one of those nanobot boosts right at the beginning of the round, even to keep himself competitive here. P4 challenging onto small tower. They're really pressuring from multiple sides here. This is going to be easy, surely, for P4. There you go, takes down vertical. Drone comes in. It's too little too late from OXG.
White window, Rise looking to double swing it with him here as well. Two of them looking out for it, and they get the down as well. Another fantastic bit of team play, but this time Dream is there to provide the cover needed. Newers gets himself back up with another pull of those nanobots, and it was a great response from OXG.
Foxy onto Bibu, just starting to really clear things out now. We've got Mowgli left above, but otherwise it is all site-based. However, Shinka, he knows there's somebody in there. Takes down Foxy. Mowgli deleted by Newers, though. Dream and managing to get one as well. And all of a sudden, OXG seem to have found their feet here.
We're only 60 seconds in.
I know, this is wild. It feels like I've been casting this round for about 4 minutes with how many kills there's been.
I was going to say, that's exactly how I feel as well. And all in such different locations as well. All kinds of events going on across the map. It's unbelievable. But there are 3 left alive for OXG here, and Shinka will be hard-pressed to try and get a recovery off. I said this was the offsite. I didn't necessarily expect Wolves to win it. Oxygen have really shown that true here in getting themselves a 3 versus 1 with the diffuser down. A man holding close. Shinka's got no chance as Newers collects the close.
The thing is, it is the offsite, but OXG have won that in resounding fashion, and that's what's important there. You know, it's not about just crawling over the line and just managing to squeak that win and get that first round on the board. They've really sent a message that actually, Wolves, we've woken up a little bit here, and maybe we're going to be coming for one of your primary or secondary sites as well, and maybe we might just be able to take it. They're going to at least have that bit of belief in them. So as we head into round 4, it's going to be back down to the basement for Wolves, Laundry and Supply. This time around, OXG really need to not lose as many people out in the map. It was Laxing who went down immediately after trying to rush into meeting. Bibu was playing there to try and hold on to the hatch. He had it open so that he had his route back to site as well, and it was a nice little setup from Wolves, just trying to hold above, have that vertical extension. I'm not sure whether they'll do the same again this time, but OXG just need to be a little bit more careful that they're not losing bodies so early.
They're coming prepped here at least with some good utility on side, looking towards things like the Flores to deal with what will otherwise be a 90 hold. Shinka has got the shield in back pocket that inevitably will sit inside of 90. And P4, maybe not in the kind of location that you'd normally see a Warden playing, has got himself locked up inside a small tower. To be fair, it would normally be a Jaeger or something like a Warden, someone who can either ignore thrown utility, at least the flashbangs, or deal with things like nades coming in, which is what Rise could do with the ADSs. So if he's not droned out, there could be a good late round flank coming out of the Warden.
Mowgli is going to be inside a meeting this time. Hatch not open, though, as we saw last time around, so it might just not attract as much attention from OXG as well. It just a little bit of honey sometimes to attract them, to draw them in, to give them something there to fight for. P4 does an awful lot of damage to Dream there. I don't think they're aware, but here we go. Newers is straight in. He's got the sledge of vertical along with him, who manages to find that opening kill to P4. What a shot from Newers. Manages to get himself a second as well. Vertical's putting the diffuser down, and all of a sudden it's a 5v1. It's all up to Mowgli, shut down, and that is a flawless round from OXG. 2-2, game on.
Great call again. We've seen this a few times today, Tim, where teams identify 2, 3 players are off site, and you know what we can do? We can hit the site in a 4vx here. We can catch them by surprise, and that's without clearing away all the utility, like the Banshees, like those keeper barriers that were in front of them. They still get through, they find the kills, they close things out nice and comfortably, and a really small note off screen that you guys wouldn't have seen was Dream holding the angle onto P4 playing in small tower. I spoke about the flank potential of that Warden pick. So what does Dream do? They nearly lose one man there, and then he sets himself up in a spot where he has a wonderful shot onto it. So P4 cannot leave small tower, cannot help with the retake at all. It's just smart, composed play where Dream has that reliance and trust in his team to get the job done on site, whilst he makes sure there'll be no nasty upsets from behind later on.
On we go then. Round number 5. 2 more defensive rounds for Wolves. They're going to go back down to Laundry. They got picked up by the rush of Newers and Vertical last time around. Straight down Laundry stairs and in they went. And Wolves were just, in honesty, completely unprepared for it. I'm sure that won't be the case this time. They are happy that it's probably not going to happen. I don't think that they'll expect OXG to repeat that. And should they, I'm sure that Wolves will be more prepared for it this time around. Bibu on the Azami has opened up the hatch. Is going to play inside of Meeting again, likely deploy a keeper barricade or 2 just to try and help him, keep him safe, create that safe space, and this time just again trying to attract OXG into Meeting, but I don't think they'll fall for the same trick twice.
You'd hope not, but there has been quite a lean towards the KB to give that call coming through, so there's some indication of where players are. It was what P4 was caught out by in Small Tower last time around. May prove to be the same here if he doesn't get out of dodge fast. And I tell you what, that's like turning around and seeing a monster at the doorway just for a flash of a second. Gets away, realizing that he's lucky to have his life here. I believe that was the sledge of Vertical that didn't quite fire the shots off in time to bring him down. But the pressure is increasing all around Small Tower as the phone call comes through. And then comes Foxy.
It's going to be using the Inox scanner of the Jackal just to track down. He switches over to the yellow footprint. They will get more tracking pings. That's how that works. Newers manages to find on kill onto Rise there. And just to finish what I was saying about the Inox scanner, the heat of the footprints, if you will, it ranges from red down to green, as you would expect. Newer is red, older is green. And the newer the footprint is, then the more pings it will gain you from that scanner. If it's one of the really light greens, you might just get a single ping onto the defender where they are in the map. So Foxy just choosing to switch off his initial selection of footprint onto the yellow, but at the minute hasn't helped them track down anybody just yet.
Not just yet, but they have all backed away straight towards side. So I like this from Wolves, where they're actually playing quite aggressively. Think about tier 3 of Tower, for example, playing around Meeting, but by the 90-second mark, they have all now dropped back down to site. Whereas before, what I think you'd normally see from Wolves is actually they'd stick 2 or 3 players out on the roam and just say, right, hold hard and die trying. That's what we saw on Chalet. It's a bit of a different story here, mind you. So Oxygen have now got the full run of things. They've got a good 60 seconds to get themselves set up here, to agree on a plan as a group, and then execute on it. This is the best chance they'll get to look sharp.
Pushing down into Laundry once again, but P4, he's ready on the long angle. Newers, however, in there for the trade. Can't keep Dream alive, but can keep the magic going as he manages to find and keep that man advantage 4 versus 3 as Oxygen continue to try and get aggressive towards site. Foxy still just out in Big Tower there, has the potential to push down rear stage stairs and have a little bit of an impact onto pillars. Mowgli, I think he knows that the diffuser's down at the bottom of Laundry stairs, and that's why he's playing it here, because he knows they're going to have to come in that direction. Takes a bit of damage from a nade. There's another coming in. That's him done for. 4 versus 2. Beautiful pick up by Vertical, but Bibu, he manages to find Foxy on the rear side and come in. Shinka gets the kill. 2 versus 1. 1 versus 1 as Shinka keeps on going inside of sight.
But it's against the juggernaut that is Newers, having a wonderful game at 8 and 2. Deadly as they come, chasing each other around. The thing is, Newers needs to recover the diffuser here and go for a plan. So Shinka has played it perfectly, ran away from sight. Newers has no time. Wolves find round 5.
However it gets done, you just got to get yourself over the line using the clock that time to get there, and that's going to be 3-2 for Wolves now. We will see their final defence coming up. I likely expect it will be up on the top floor. Indeed it will. They're going to go to dorms this time around. We saw it back in round number 2. They were able to get the win there then. They're going to be hoping for more of the same, and they were pretty solid up there. They didn't really allow any access massively into sight for a lot of the round, from what I remember.
Alrighty, round 6, last one of the half. Wolves, their last chance here to pull ahead up to 4 and 2. It's kind of what we're expecting. We spoke about the offsite being the dicey point for them, but at least here they're going up to a relatively safe site up on the top floor in kids' dorms. Looking on the defensive actual lineup they brought along here as well, you've seen that as Army stepping into the 4 once again. I mentioned earlier on, banned away an awful lot across the day and throughout the week, to be honest, and when she has been available, picked up by a large number of teams. I like seeing this, by the way, Tim, when teams open up this double wall into walk-in and look to play through it with the shotgun on the smoke. I think it was BDS that first did it, at least in Europe. We may have seen it around the world prior to that. But what you had Playday doing was playing super close onto the opening itself with the shotgun. And when he felt he was getting a little bit hot, you drop a smoke through in towards master bedroom, pop out the canister, and then reinforce the wall, knowing it's very unlikely that anyone's going to be able to challenge you or charge through and come for the kill.
But we have seen increasing amounts of that in recent time. Players thinking, yep, I'll just take the damage penalty and I'll get straight through that smoke and get aggressive. So it's always something that you've got to be careful of. Vertical straight into rear stage there. You can see the drone at his feet again, just racing ahead, making sure that he's safe, not going to suffer a push from underneath. We've got a repel moving into Arsenal, and I like this from OXG. We're getting multiple angles of attack here, which is always something that I favour. Doesn't quite see the backpack of the Jaeger there, so not going to be able to get any action going. Bibu looking to just support there as well on the armory stairs.
Feels like Nuaz has really got a point to prove today, at least in his own mind as well.
Prove that.
He knows it's a nice shot, and it was. Rise just finding the man far too easily. I was going to say 8-2, you know, almost averaging a couple of kills around so far. He really has been on one. And compared to what some of the games Oxygen have had, where he's been pretty quiet throughout the competition, this will like to be a game where he's really seeking to make redemption. But at least in this round, that's not going to be a possibility.
Nope, Dream now, the one at the bottom of Armory Stairs. Just put the diffuser there for the second. P4 creeping up. I'm not sure he's aware. Absolute freebie for P4. They just haven't searched and sought underneath to make sure they were aware of exactly what was going on. Vertical taking the quick peek on towards Pit, but in a 3 versus 5 needs to be careful. The last thing that OXG need here is to be losing another man. They're at the halfway mark and they are very much behind, and there's somebody inside of Arsenal. It is the Azami of Bibu, and if that,
I think he knows.
I think he knows that he's there in Armory, and they can't get him with the nade. Maybe they're going to have to be careful to make sure they drone that out. Foxy, there you go, gets the kills. That was exactly what they needed. That just gives OXG a little bit more hope in this round.
I've had that twice today, and I've never really seen it before. But when an observer flicks onto a player just as they die, you get that kind of, well, what do I look at now? And it's normally a default spot somewhere in the map. So unlucky time in there, I guess, easy. But we still find out, still things moving forwards. One down on the side of Wolves here, still in control of the round. Nuaz being off the board so early, I mentioned back in the last map for these guys as well, you lose a couple of those nades that will go down with him. It's really valuable to find a Finker early in the round because you also remove that nanobot stip.
Just trying to get something going out of Trophy here. Vertical moving in from the attic side, but the problem that they've got is that Wolves are aware of where these pushes are coming from. Vertical just burning a nade there that would have been much better spent taking out the bulletproof camera that's currently watching his every move, and that is exactly what Bibu is sat on, just watching, waiting, looking to guide his teammates into the fight, but Laxing manages to take down Mowgli, manages to take down P4. What a performance he's putting in here on Dorms, and that's an opportunity for OXG. They need to think about getting this plant down. It's all up to Foxy. He's going to start the process. Rise, Shinka, you got to move now. You got to do something. Fox is going to stick this. Does indeed. Shinka goes for the shotgun. Gets one, but not two. Laxing third in the round. 1v2 now. It's all up to Rise. He's back deep in Dorms. He needs to start moving through. He's got the rotations. He's got the mobility that he needs, but he needs to be quick. Time is the real problem here. 22 seconds if he wants to be able to disable the diffuser. Manages to find Vertical. 1v1 shut down by Laxing. 4K at least on the round. Not sure that he picked up the first of the kills. I apologise, Laxing, if it was an ace, but what a round it was from him. And that is going to be OXG levelling things up.
I love how the penultimate kill that he got there as well was, again, that trade-based play that I said Oxygen had been missing. They get the push out from Shinka with the shotgun immediately there. Laxing is ready to swing from inside of games. Looking nice and sharp today. We commended him a lot in the game earlier on. Seeing some more of it coming out here once again. Now we switch sides with Oxygen going onto the defense. They're going to start down in the basement. But Tim getting 3 attacking rounds on Oregon. Not a bad outcome at all.
Not bad at all, as you say. Oxygen now. Let's look at, the potential timeline from here. They've got the 2 primary sites to go at. So they've got basement, they've got dorms. If they can lock down and win both of those, which the defenders do have a lot of joy with normally, that could leave them at 5-3 on the scoreboard. And that's not going to be easy for Wolves to climb back from. Basically, OXG don't need to worry about the offsite at this point. They can just lock down basement dorms, and that is the job done. It'll be 7-5 overall.
10 seconds left.
It'd be nice to get towards that kind of point, but we'll see if that's the case, because immediately, Tim, I'm looking at the pain train that Wolves are bringing along here. We've got the blitz on side, and we normally know what a blitz means. It means there is a filthy rush coming down through 90. So sure enough, you're going to have 3 or 4 players spawn down here. 1 or 2 maybe look for the backstab. You've got Shinka on the Yana, who normally plays the operator more supportively and uses the Gemini clones to help find information for the team. You've got P4 on the Nook. Expect them to come in for a backstab, but the other 3, they're all going to try and beeline their way down 90. opportunity here, and I get a feeling the Dream is kind of aware it's coming.
Raz is going to just rush in with the blitz here. He tries to use the Toxic Babe canister, but that is elbow cleared. We see the shield operator used in that way so often to do that. The smoke canister is going to go out and just provide a little bit of safety for Rise in there as he gets himself reload and reset. But P4, he's looking to move around Laundry as well. So multiple angles coming in here from Wolves. They've just stalled out a little bit after managing to clear elbow there. Need to keep the momentum, keep themselves going.
And here, looking at how things are shaping up, I mean, he's got Keeper barriers to play behind. Everyone's attention is focusing off on the other way. By the way, I hear we've now got the A-Stream joining us. Welcome to the game. I hope you're enjoying what's no doubt going to be a spectacle here in the second half. P4 on one backstab. Traded out by Vert as P4 finds another onto Foxay. Trying to shoot at the feet, but you got a full white screen. Vert, run, Forrest, run! Tries to get out, but Mowgli finds the close. And there we go into a 4-3 to Wolves.
I think we've got G2 to thank for the Airstream joining us with the rapid result that they've just put down. 7-0. What a performance. What a way to send themselves through not only into the playoffs, but I believe we'll do the maths later. We'll double check. I think it will put them top of the group as well. So 4-3 we stand now to Wolves as they get a successful first attack. And coming in here, we thought that OXG might just start to have a little bit of a run of things, seeing as they got themselves onto the defense. But Rise dealing with elbow fantastically on the blitz. Really did rocket Wolves through the round, and it gives them a great start to the second half.
Fluke shared a little bit of intel as well. She told me that Doki went 12-2.
Oof.
He's been unleashed in a few games, and the thing is, Doki, if you're watching this, buddy, I love you. But Doki's one of the players that can run ahead of the rest of the team, ahead of drones, he can look the wrong way, he can lose his life in really silly situations several times over. But when he's on his day, especially alongside Citizen, they can be one of the most formidable entry pairings that we have got in the world. It's like the throwback to the old days on Na'Vi as well, but now, of course, we're seeing it under the G2 banner. They take first spot in their group, which means now they get seeded against a second-place team from one of the other three groups. Of course, we'll find out what the information is around the bracket draw and let you guys know when that should be released. For now, we'll keep on following through in this game and see if Wolves can close out what has been a very successful day for them.
I can't wait to see those matchups. See who's going to face who, region versus region, and what we're going to enjoy over the weekend. Now then, Newers, he's looking for the jump out, but absolutely not, says P4. Completely shuts him down there and just destroys him at the bottom of White Stairs. Wolves fly in here as they get themselves a quick entry and start pushing in across the map. There might just be a man getting caught out in kitchen here. Mowgli's going for him. He's not going to stop, but he does take an absolute ton of damage as he comes around the corner. He's going to have to back off and use the nanobots there. He can't continue that challenge, and that is going to slow Mowgli down for at least the next 30 seconds whilst he waits for another boost.
Alrighty, Snewers again going down early in the round as well. He's had a torrid couple of rounds. Let's not forget, he was 8-2 just 3 rounds ago, but since then has been the entry death repeatedly. Really looking for his early kills, but simply not finding them against a very dominant Wolves side here in the second half. Shinka's going in, Plant going down, and it's Laxing and Foxay, the old school duo, to try and save this round.
Shinka successful in that plant, and things just went from bad to worse for OXG. Shut down underneath from Bibu. Beautiful headshot onto Laxing, and it's all up to Foxay. Half health he has got, and he's going to just have a little look at the poster for us.
Look at the poster, Tim, and also doing a bit of drawing. It's not quite the same as what we saw coming out of, I want to say it was it FaZe earlier? They were spelling easy into the cabinet on Bank's basement when trying to go for a disable. It was beautiful. Okay, not a bad shot, I'll give you that, Foxay, but there's still 4 more to find, mate. Show us what you got.
So he's going to have to, they're stacking up a little bit here. 2 will challenge at the same time. Rise manages to get it, and there's a little bit of shouting going on there, Des.
That's a bit aggressive. I think they're a bit passionate about winning, Tim.
You can tell that Bibu doesn't have to use his voice too much for his job.
No, he reminds me of you, just excessively loud compared to everyone else in the room. The thing is, in the green room, for example, you're actually a pretty quiet inside voice.
I have to, because I need to save my throat for the casting that I do.
It's kind of a blessing.
So I've got to be very quiet in between games, usually.
Yeah, you and Parker are both 2 very loud voices in the room. And for such a small man as well, it's quite a booming voice coming from your chest.
Well, you know. I've done all right with it.
Okie dokie. Round number 9 coming up. I remember us joking about that once, actually, as well. We were talking about Wolves versus the Wolves, but also saying round number 9 versus just round 9.
Either is fine.
The thing is, in like boxing, for example, they never say round number 9. They just go round 9, ding ding, and then off you go. So surely we should follow suit and just say round 9.
Maybe.
Round number 9 is like a nice close because you get the round number 9. It's
I
almost
know
musical.
that no matter what I agree to,
I'll disagree with it.
I'm going to come in and go round number 9.
Yeah,
So it's pointless.
It's very true. It's very true. Remember one of the old phrases that we always used to say, and like every caster used to do it? Post-plant situation.
Post-plant situation?
On our hands.
Love a good post-plant situation.
Post-plant situation on our hands. Yeah, all the time. Every single time.
Raz is going to head into the back of rear stage here. Takes down the default camera, but it's P4 that I'm interested in on the knock. He's creeping away underneath. Is he going to find his man inside of security, or is he going to shut down? There he is. Easy for Laxing. One pump onto the drone, one pump onto P4. And that's going to be the entry kill. Raz goes as well as Newers manages to find him. And that leaves us very quickly in a 5v3. This game's going to be over in rapid fashion here, Des, because neither of these teams are slowing down.
He's had a bit of a kill drought, Newers. It's good for him to get back on the scoreboard once again. And for Wolves, it might feel like finally their attacks are being ground to a halt. But I think, like you said yourself, 2 rounds, then for 1, then 2 for 1 is not going to be a bad outcome. It will be enough for Wolves to close things out at 7 and 5, assuming, of course, they can win in the next 2 rounds. Oxygen, though, you've got Newers holding nice and close to you in this walk-in wardrobe. I wonder if they know about the player being here as well, because with how it's currently set up, you can see him rotating back through. There he goes, opening up the opposite side of walk-in wardrobe compared to what Wolves had open on their defenses, for example. Again, just small regional differences.
Mowgli being challenged from multiple angles here, and OXG have got the freedom to do that, given the first 2 kills that they've picked up, and now that they're in a 5v3 vertical. He's got everything he needs to stay well in position here, and he's putting more utility down because he knows it's a Finker that he's fighting with, and he doesn't want to find himself susceptible to those nades, doesn't want them reaching as far as that deployable shield, and they're not going to be able to whilst the magnets are still in position. And it looks like Wolves, they're just struggling to make any sort of inroads here. They've got Shinka on double window. Mowgli is trying to work in from Trophy. Bibu's just relocating back round to Attic. But right now, they've just got all the answers of OXG.
They have. When you found 2 kills as well, P4 and Rise in the early round, 1, they go down with 4 nades in their back pocket. And outside of that, you're also losing the information game. There's very few drones actually left active out in the field. Mowgli finds one and sees another great shot inside a pit to bring down Foxay. Brings it down to a 3v2. Still a lot of work to do. Finds the one man, but dreams just better. Swings onto Mowgli and brings him down, leaving Shinka all alone to hold off a 1 versus 3 and only 30 seconds on the clock. He just have the diffuser. Finds Laxin for 1. Has got to find the second man here inside of Dorms, and that may well give him a chance of getting a plant down.
He might just do this, Des. I think he has an idea that he's just gone through into pit. I don't know if he caught a pixel of movement there, but he manages to get the spray down. Surely not. Shinka 1v3. He's got the 2 that he needs. He's got 1 fight and 16 seconds left to take it. He knows roughly where the man is. Is he going to stick this? Pros don't fake, Des. He's not. He's going to try and bait him out. Newers is on low health. This is here for Shinka to win. Surely he does.
Shinka!
Through the soft wall. 1v3, Des. What a play from Shinka. Look at the faces of Wolves. They can't believe it either. Great work from him, and that is going to be another round that really shouldn't have been theirs.
The thing is, I know what that does for players as well, Tim. We all ran over to Rogue when they won their game earlier against NIP, and you could just see Spoy absolutely glowing after that 1v3 that he won against NIP inside a trophy. So going throughout this game, if nothing else, that'll be a massive boost because Shinka will hold on to that, knowing that he is that capable and can pull off those kind of plays in the playoffs too. It only gets better for Wolves at this point. Shinka's sat on 8-3 as one of their supportive players, currently second only to Rise on kills. Wonderful performance so far.
Oh, it's big. There's no 2 ways about it. You know, this is a confidence game, and the more confidence you play with, the more shots just seem to land, the more it's a headshot rather than a chest shot. These things just seem to snowball, so that's perfect for Wolves there. But what an individual player. 1v3, absolutely beautiful. OXG just sort of giving him those 1v1 opportunities, unfortunately for them, challenging 1 at a time, and just not really timing it that fantastically well. OXG then, they lead us into round number 10. It's going to be a defense of Laundry once again. Wolves have already been able to win down there. Back in round number 8, back in round number 7. They've got 3 rounds in a row now, and it's going to be difficult, I think, for OXG to derail them.
Whew. It's a lot of work. Just 1 more round as an opportunity for OXG to keep themselves going. I guarantee they won't want to be going home on a 7-3 defeat to Wolves. It has been a rough tournament, not just for OXG, but for all of NA at this point. I think with how things are going, we have, what, 3 LATAM, 3 EU, 1 APAC, and 1 NA team going through, which is a massive stone's throw away from the 4 teams making it through that we had back in Charlotte from NA.
Gonna have Rise already inside of the building, but it's FoxA who manages to open things up with a headshot onto Mowgli, taking down the finger. We know how big a blow that can be to attacking sides. A lot of respect between the two teams, despite the bit of shouting that we've had back and forward. That's all in good fun, good spirits, I would imagine. And a nice shot gets thrown into the chat there from Mowgli, recognising the ability of FoxA. Now Rise, he takes the fight down into Freezer, not going to find his man, but FoxA needs to be careful here. He doesn't want to overstay his welcome. He's going to find himself cut off, but the one way to deal with that is just to keep killing through it, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Can Bibu find the kill here? No, he can't. He's going to get sprayed down as well. And Fox here, he just refuses to move, Des. He's going nowhere.
Out comes two on the swing, though. Together you can make magic happen. He was on the deagle. I love it. he knew it was too hard to go over to the MPX and go for the reload, but for two of them there to have to push him to clear out security is a big deal. The only thing I'm nervous about, Tim, is it Shinka still left alive. Dreams on a slither of HP. There's a minute and 15 to play. 75 seconds with which to work another big comeback. For Wolves to close out 7-3 on that kind of high would be unbelievable.
Oh, it really would. You know, you've got to imagine that OXG should be closing this out. They're down in the basement. It's a preferential site. They've got double the manpower. It should definitely be doable for them. Bibu on low health as well. He's going to be spearheading this attack down in, and given that the Roteros have been coming from that direction, OXG should have a good idea that that may well be where the attack is going to push from as well. But Bibu's going to rotate himself around back into Freezer. We had a little bit of early attention towards it, but finally the Rotero now makes it into the position that they've been trying, and Shinka able to use that Flores gadget to maximum effect, clearing out barbed wire, clearing out Kiba barricades, and just giving access through in towards Laundry.
They are now completely out of smoke canisters as well. Dream chewing through his last one there. So it gives Bibu a cleaner angle just to push straight on through here. The four left alive, surely they can hold on. Down goes Dream. Last 15 seconds. It's a literal dream here for Wolves to be able to win this round with such little time remaining, but the push forward is going to begin. Shinka steps through, sees one man, can't find the head, gets swung by Ver. A good little team play there coming out from OXG, and Bibu's left all by himself, finds one but can't find Nuas. OXG find their first defensive win.
OXG need to keep fighting for 2 more rounds here. They need, let's not forget, 1 point will put them up into 3rd place, gain them some additional SI points, which could be, you know, particularly important when we get towards the end of the year. So really important that they keep fighting for these last 2 rounds. Wolves, they've got themselves onto match point. They are already qualified, so they're not too worried here. But OXG, no more mistakes available, and they need to keep this momentum that they've just got in the last round. It's going to be a defense this time of Dorms once again. Again, another site that Wolves have already won, but let's not forget it was on the back of a 1v3 from Shinka, and I'm sure that OXG are going to be confident that they can do better this time. Yeah,
surely lightning can't strike twice as well in Shinka's case. It's not that I'm saying the player isn't capable, it's just on the math and probability of it. It's not something that should be happening again. Oxygen should be able to hold on firm here, again reinforcing up basically everything inside of security and even jamming it down. They really don't want Wolves getting inside of their kitchen and opening it up from above them, and why would you? Because Foxa so far has done a wonderful job of holding it. Yeah, I've always said Foxa, but I know it's FoxA, but I still say Foxa.
I mean, I say FoxA, but when I'm saying it quickly, again, we're back onto the accent, it sort of does become more like a Foxit, because I'm just cutting the A short to it.
I see.
When I'm saying it quickly when I'm casting.
Inside the mind of Timothy Lever.
Inside the workings. Inside the workings.
Of Ace of Wide Right.
True behind the scenes.
Vert's holding here inside a shower. A very smart call, I think, as well, because often attacking teams for this site will start out towards shower. They'll work their way through incredibly quickly and then start looking to challenge 1 in towards security room and 2 up white stairs. So by standing here, we've already seen P4 pull off a mega wrap play back in the first half and get himself a freebie onto Vert as he stepped through that location. So understandably, Vert wants to be the one to stand there and challenge as they come pushing forward. But Wolves have completely changed tack here. They've gone out towards the east side of the map instead. One's inside of Armory, Mowgli up on top floor, and a couple more playing on the below. So for now, at least, ignoring that shower side of the map.
Keeper barricade going out onto Armory door, but Mowgli, he's going to be getting aggressive towards Trophy here. Takes down the Valkyrie cam, but he's well aware that there could be a Nitro lined up and ready to fly over the top of that dividing wall between Pit and Trophy. So it's just preventing him pushing in at the minute. Nade is going to go out. I think that's likely to clear off any utility that's on the wall they may want to breach. Nade is going to go in, bounced off the door frame, not going to do any damage to the Azami. Mowgli needs to be careful there, looking for utility, and nearly finds himself in an unexpected fight with Foxy.
Is that a run up there from the Valkyrie? I think she was anchored destruction, maybe. Wasn't the Valkyrie, I'm not quite sure. Either way, C4 is ready to come singing over the top of Trophy here, so these boys have got to be careful. There's two of them lined up. Nua's lets rip, but I think it sticks to the wall. Man, a couple of times today he's missed out on impact tricks, C4s, you name it. Not great.
No, you've got to be hitting that shot. If you know, it's got to be well practiced. Essentially, we're going to have another Kiba barricade put up, and these barricades just keep causing problems. Foxy very low on health now as the problem continues. He keeps taking shots, chips of damage, and here comes another assault from Mowgli. Manages to find Nuas. Does he manage to get Foxy as well? Yes, he does. 5 versus 3. This could be the end.
Just standing in the open there a little bit, gave a couple of freebies over to Mowgli, who's more than happy to collect them like the Grim Reaper. But here comes Vert, a big flank coming up. They have no idea. He sees his man, he sees one, sees two, turns against the second, but can't see the third. P4 gets the shutdown, and somehow Wolves still held on. Laxi came up behind him as well. It's a little bit of panic in the Wolves camp, but they still hold on for a 2v2.
What a duo flank coming in from Vertical and Laxing. I mean, why not at this point? You might as well roll the dice. Absolutely fantastic from them. Bibu now aware that Laxing is still inside a trophy, but it means that the pause button has been hit for Wolves. They've had to back off. 20 seconds left to go, and they need to get aggressive. The time is running out. Rise, he looks to make a challenge into closet. Out goes the nade. It might have dropped through to the lower floor. There's the first kill. Laxing onto Bibu. It's Rise. It's shut down. Laxing 3k to close out the round, and OXG, they keep fighting.
Lax's movement there as well, dancing between Breach across the trophy and back to Breach again, getting kills in the latter two movements. Really sharp stuff coming out of Oxygen, and they may well have done enough to hold on here, Tim. They're one round away from taking us through to overtime. Wolves really slipped off for the last couple of rounds, and Oxygen's confidence has only increased. We haven't seen things like those flanks coming out before, and they've done them so well.
Would it be you and I casting the last game of the groups if it didn't go to overtime? That's got to be the question. Not. In what world, in what timeline do we cast the last game of the groups that's as hotly contested as this, and we don't see it go all the way? Surely this is going to be an OXG win. Imagine. That'd be 30 rounds in the last 2 games for us.
Yeah, we had 15 rounds at the last one, yeah.
Speaking of saving my throat for the playoffs, that'd be 30 rounds in the last 2 games.
Well, tomorrow we shall be mute.
I'll be fine. Don't worry.
We'll be mute. You say you'll be fine, but then let's not forget Sweden.
In the third site now, this is where it's going to get difficult for them. It's going to be Meeting and Kitchen that they go for, and it's now or never for them, really. They're chasing after third place. They're chasing after those additional SI points, and they need to do it down there in the meeting room.
Alrighty, let's see if Oxygen can hold on through to overtime. I spoke about these offsites. It's where they succeeded on the attack back in the first half and where Wolves fell a little bit short, at least to end their undefeated streak on the defensive side. You got Mowgli donning that nut that we spoke about a number of times, can do a little bit of damage here, getting sneaky around the map. P4 and Rise also changing away. I can't think of really... This sounds silly, but the last time I saw Rise play Buck, I know he's been on a lot of sledge lately, but back in the day, and maybe not even back in the day, probably back in the regular stage, he would play an absolute metric ton of this Buck. And I did wonder if at some point we'd see this, the IQ maybe coming out for Shinka, because we have seen the Valkyrie continuously. But instead what we've seen is Shinka now going over to the Fuse. If you're looking at that and thinking what the bloody Nora is going on there, that's because they want to get vertical control. They want to get inside the kids, they want to get inside of the attic, and just drop the Fuse charges down, clear out the site, and use that newly created space to get the plant down. So really here, Oxygen, they need to have good presence on the upstairs, but Tim, there's someone ratting inside a small tower, and they've seen him on a yellow ping.
They know that he's there. This has got to be an easy one for Mowgli. Straight in, nice and simple. Great teamwork. Door opened up for him so that the challenge comes in quicker than Foxy can really react to, and that's going to be a great opener there. But good interesting point that you make about Fuse, Des. You know, I often think about not just people, you know, there's lots of people who watch who know the esports inside and out, and they're good Siege players themselves, but there's also a lot of new people who watch, maybe, you know, just venturing into ranked to begin with, maybe not even playing ranked, maybe just starting out in casual and unranked and learning those operators. And Fuse, I think, often gets picked up as somebody that you're looking to be aggressive with, looking to get kills with those pucks, and that's not really what Fuse is about. Creating space is exactly that, clearing utility and pushing defenders around into the lines of sight of your teammate. That's what they're going to be looking for. P4, he's going in on the Finker, just trying to get those kills onto Newers and to clear out the top floor. There's bullets flying absolutely everywhere at the minute. Newers somehow managing to evade them for the time being, but they know where he is, and they're going to use the Azami's Kiba barricade against her.
trying to hold on, aren't they, as the assault continues. They know the grenade's coming into his room as well. This could get a little bit ropey. They're right over the top, and it only takes a gunshot on the back of it to finish Nua's off. 2 members of OXG dispatched here, playing out on the roam and well shut down by Wolves.
Vertical seriously low health as well down in the basement. He's trying to get something going. We saw him and Laxing using the duo flank previously to bring them back into a round, but I'm just not sure that they're going to get away with that again. Laxing, he's moving himself around, just dipping and diving into green corridor, looking down towards kitchen, trying to keep himself in the best position he can for the late fight that he knows is going to be coming. I'm not sure that Wolves are aware of vertical up at the top of Laundry Stairs though, so there could be an impact, and that's a great example of what we were talking about. Dream having to move out for that period of time before he can rotate back through, and if you've got somebody, Wolves just need somebody on the horizontal really, or even watching vertical angles from above so that when Dream moves, he moves into their line of sight. That's generally the idea with the Fuse. They're just going to try to use that hatch against them, Wolves here. Dream gets aggressive, Beauty onto the door, takes down P4, and that is going to be 30 seconds left to go. 3v2 as we have a manpower swing around.
A massive one as well. Yeah, again, Wolves getting hit on the flank. It's been the 2nd or 3rd time in this half that we've seen this now. It's great play by Oxygen, often involving Foxay and Laxi, but with Foxay going down early, instead that attention turned on towards other players. Dream being one of the big ones, absolutely keeping the dream alive for Oxygen to get some points from this game. Shinka's inside of sight. He's got to make a plant happen, sees a man at the back and gets the down, but can he make the plant happen because he's left all alone? He's in a 1 versus 2. All he can do is hold F as the members of OXG scramble here. They find the man and send us through to overtime.
Fantastic, fantastic stuff from OXG. Really didn't think they were going to hold on in the 3v5, to be honest, but the vertical flank was allowed to happen again, which was a surprise given that they'd suffered to it already. And that means we are going into overtime. We're going to see a few more rounds of this between OXG and Wolves. It's 6-6, best of 3 now, so first to 8 will claim 2 points, and the loser will only walk away with 1. But that means that OXG have secured the 3rd place spot that they were fighting for. They were on 4 points along with Gaimin Gladiators, so that is an extra bunch of SI points. Thank you very much for OXG.
It's something they're not going to be too disappointed by at all. As we said earlier on, I think it's 50 points for you finishing 4th and 105 for finishing in 3rd. As you referenced, Tim, there could be 30 or 40 points to make the difference. And remember, actually, last time around the kind of 16-point mark, or the 16th place mark, because the last 4 spots go to our open qualifier teams, around the 16th point, there was probably about 80 points separated, I think 3 or 4 different teams. And there was quite a shock that I think it was TSM might not be able to go or something. I forget which team it was. But there was a team that wasn't really going to be in the running to get there that just about managed to squeak in. It makes for things being really close at the end of the season. So for Oxygen, I know they already had a very good chance given their performances previously. But again, it's just extra security that you're not going to find yourself stuck.
I was just really confused then. This is going to sound a bit strange, but I couldn't see my tablet properly when I was writing on it, and I couldn't figure out why, but it's because I still had my glasses on. Vertical is going to get the
open. Got to do with
I know. It sounds weird. I couldn't see because I had my glasses on, but I don't need them for short. I need them for long.
So if you wear them for short, does it all blur?
Yeah, I can't really see properly with them on short. That's why I don't wear them for casting. I just wear them for camera. Yeah, it confused me for a second. It lost my train of thought.
Forget about Ace of Wide Right. This is Ace of Insight now. I didn't know about that.
It really is. Ace of No Sight if I keep them on. So we're going to go 5 versus 4 as Vertical gets our opener. Mowgli, he's on the downstairs just seeking, trying to find anybody. They are attacking onto Laundry. They've got access now to Freeze. Absolute beauty. He picks up onto Newers through the hatch, and that gives a little bit of a boost in the step of Wolves.
Oh. Newers should open his own charity. He's given away so many freebies in this game. Just being caught out in the early round, whether it's trying to play rat spots, whether it's trying to be aggressive out on the roam, or the entry on the attacking side. But Wolves have really feasted on his corpse several times throughout. Him being down here on the alibi is no massive loss to the side of OXG. As you say a few times over, you'll often see things like the Jaeger, the alibi, the Malusi sometimes being the ones that will get out and about around the map because they are the ones that you do not mind losing. Their utility has been deployed. They're just a walking gun at that point. They can waste a bit of time for you. If they go down, it's not the end of the world, although, of course, you would always prefer to keep them alive and have those guns back on site.
Mowgli then just going to be rotating, looking to move and pressure elsewhere, possibly down into bunker. Reasonably late in the round, 1 minute 15 mark, we're going to have Bibu coming in and getting the hatches. Obviously important to make sure that you're doing it safely rather than doing it at all costs, but still, time could be a factor as the round romps on here. We've got a minute left, and they're going to be trying to push multiple angles here by the looks of things. As expected, Mowgli has gone down into bunker, but there's no angle really presenting itself for him so far onto the player at Pillars. They're going to need some pressure from the back stairs, and that's what they're going to get as Bibu looks to move down there, but he needs to wait for the toxic canister to dissipate before he can get overly aggressive there. Mowgli's going to send a nade into elbow, but how easy is it for Laxing?
More than ready as well. I think that nade got caught out by a Magnus, who was never really in any real danger. Bibu being challenged hard upstairs. It's Dream with the shotgun. A literal drive-by as he pushes into him there. Flash is still raining through, but now the last two members of Shinka and Rise, they've got to find a way to keep this one going. I don't think he saw the leg of the player that was just inside there. Rise goes down. Dream's looking for his third with this shotgun. The terror of Tower, not yet able to find his last victim.
He knows that Shinka's coming from those rear stage stairs. He's dipped himself away a little bit to try and take a better angle here, more advantageous for himself. Shinka manages to get one. It's meaningless, however, as the trade comes in immediately, and that's going to be OXG giving themselves the advantage in overtime. I've got to pull it back to Bibu on the rear stage stairs there. When he got the flash out, that was absolutely beautiful. You could see the thought process. He had the flash in his hand and Dream suddenly appears, and there was nothing for him to do but just try and throw the flash at him. It was like, here, have that, and just try and throw it in his face or something. Didn't quite pan out for him.
It did not. You ever thought about laser eye surgery?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I quite like the look of my glasses. I don't really mind wearing them. I don't actually need them very often. Like I say, I need them for driving. I'm sure everybody's really interested in my eyesight. I need them for driving.
I'm curious.
I need them for things like a siege event. So if I come somewhere like this, I need them on to be able to see the stage or to be able to see the screens, things like that. So, but
it's quite scary. It sounds. My brother's had it this week, and he can't see for 2 days.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I just don't. I'm sure there's not. I've never really looked into it that much to know whether there's a big risk or not. But yeah, it's just never really bothered me. I don't mind. I don't wear them an awful lot because I don't need them for screens. And let's be honest, I spend the majority of my time sat staring at a screen. So I don't need it for that. So I don't wear them an awful lot. And I'm okay with the way they look. It's never bothered me wearing glasses. So I'll just go with it.
Mate, fair enough. Yeah. Mine are entirely optional, to be fair. They are like range only. Like they work up close as well. Unlike yours, mine are like a good set of glasses that do work up close. But it's more like for the
mine are a good set of eyes that just work up close.
Well, basically, yeah. What I always say is trees are in HD. Things at distance look extra sharp and crisp. I love it. So on here, for example, really at this close range like a screen, same as you, not really a big difference. But for Foxay, he's the one looking to try and find some nice, sharp, crisp shots on his way in. Viva looking to be the challenger here, and Foxay and Laxin, between the two of them, have had a wonderful game when it's come to roams and entries and all the rest of it. Nuez, as I say, really not got himself too involved. Mowgli walking away, the king of entries between these two young gunners.
Yeah, Mowgli definitely seeing things in HD there as he manages to get that opener, take down Nuez. Finka gone. We've seen so many opening kills today onto Finka, Des. There's no real reason or pattern for it. It's just been unfortunate for the attackers that they keep losing that vital operator. You know, we know how valuable she is with the Gon 6, with the nades, with the health boost for the entire team, with the LMG. You know, the positives just keep on coming for the Finka, and the vertical just misses that, but dips down, finds his man. Absolute beauty onto Mowgli. Can't get the second though as Shinka comes across and picks up the trade with a headshot. 7-6, 3 versus 4. OXG, they are close to taking this one over the line and getting the win.
Shinka's at 13, 14 kills at this point as well. Like, again, just a really solid game coming through. For OXG, closing it out here and now, probably advisable. You don't want to go into another round and find yourself going to a less desirable defensive site, as it would be your second choice. Dream looking to work his way here around about Laundry and Supply. You've got Foxay coming down big tower stairs. They're going for this multi-point push, but I don't know if it's going to work out, because the problem with this is you don't have any trades to play through. There we go. Rise now regains full control of upstairs. Gets a Razor Bloom kill onto Dream. He must have run into that one and not realised, leaving just Laxin by himself. Bibu gets the close down. 30 rounds across 2 maps, Tim. Who's complaining?
I mean, I hate to say that I predicted it, but I said coming into this one I had a feeling that we were going to see plenty of overtime between these two sides, because I don't know, I just had a feeling that it was the end of the night and we weren't going to be allowed an early finish.
Whew. Okay. I mean, after this as well, I'm pretty sure we'll have the groups revealed very shortly too in terms of who's playing who, but we need to see the epic conclusion of this tale first and foremost. So stick with us. I know many of you are here for the packs, and I'm sure you're collecting those along the way as well. Kidstorm's going to be where this last event takes place. It is the end of our group stages, Tim. There's 3.5 minutes to play, and then we are done until Friday. Tomorrow's going to be a very strange day with no Siege being played, but trust me, you do not want to miss the playoffs on Friday. 4 quarterfinals, 2 semi-finals on Saturday, and a grand final on Sunday. Plus, of course, the reveal of the new season, Tim, on the 21st of August. I'm excited.
I always look forward to that, you know.
Oh, me too.
I never get spoilers of it. I always try and avoid it, because sometimes we need to see it before, you know, depending what's going on with the show, so we sometimes have the opportunity to see it a little bit soon. But yeah, I always avoid it. I always like to just see it along with everybody else, like bang, straight
My favourite was in the crowd of SI 2020, because we stayed around after we finished groups to stay and watch the event live, and we sat there, and the whole crowd was going nuts. Yeah. Remember when they announced the rework of House? And the whole crowd was like, yeah! And I was like, bro, it's a casual map, but people love it. So understandably, it's a staple of the game as well. So lots to look forward to on Sunday and Saturday and Friday. Just, you know, overall a very good weekend if you're a Siege fan.
Newer's going to be on the roam underneath, but heads himself back up to site. It's going to be a Dorm's defense for OXG to try and claim 2 points here. They've got what they need. 1 point is enough, but I'm sure they're just trying to go out with a little bit of a flourish at the end here. And Wolves, well, I've said it before, winning is a habit, and it is a good idea to keep on doing it if you can, especially heading into the playoffs. They are going to have a day off tomorrow, so it does give a little bit of a break to that momentum, but still not a bad idea to keep the winning ways going. Mowgli, he's going to get himself inside of the closet, but there's not much that he can do about it at the minute. Obviously doesn't have any ability to hard breach himself. He will need the support of Shinka in order to do that, but for the time being he's just trying to create a safe platform for the Thermite to move into.
Alrighty, Dream, once again, deadly with that shotgun here. More kind of shooting out drones than he is so much shooting out players right now, but there is plenty of time for that yet, my sweet child. Only 60 seconds in the round, and Mowgli knows there's a man sat in behind the shield. It is indeed the Azami of Foxay who's lurking. Dream with the shotgun. There it is. I keep on speaking about him. He's a Terminator with the shotgun, Tim. Bringing down, again, one of the hottest entries that we have seen today.
Shinka is going to get that wall open, and that's going to give Wolves the access that they need into site at least, but they're going to need a couple of kills. I've spoken about this site at length before. Dorms is very difficult to break down when there's a lot of men in there. It's like a bit of an onion defense. It's layer after layer after layer that you've got to break through, and even get into that core, you need time to be able to fight your way into, you know, bunk beds, to be able to fight your way into kids' dorms. It's not easy to do, and so you don't want to be running low on manpower, and you don't want to be running low on time. And at the minute Wolves could be struggling on both fronts here because they haven't managed to pick up any kills. Oxygen are playing this really well, keeping themselves off the radar and just not giving anything here. As I say that, I'm awfully sorry.
I'll tell you what, we've had so many caster curses today, it's ludicrous.
We need to be careful with this power.
Absolutely ludicrous. It is Mowgli going down, so 2 of the big fraggers off the board, at least for the round. Foxay still digging in deep here behind a keeper barrier, just waiting for any kind of probing to come in around this trophy door so he can pop his head up and take a couple of shots. You've still got Dream sat off to his left-hand side. Smoke's coming out on towards the breach. That's great cover, because it lets Foxay get the cross, and now he's up nice and close. Newers finds one, Rise one back. 2 quick kills follow through for Oxygen. They may well have done it, Tim. It may not get them through to playoffs, but it is still 2 points they'll walk away with against the Wolves, unless we see Rise pull off an absolute miracle.
3v1 here as Rise tries to recreate what Shinka did earlier in the game, but he can't even find one. Laxing closes it out, and that is going to be the round and the match for OXG. 2 points secured. It moves them up into 3rd place, gets them a few extra SI points, and it also rounds out our group stages here at the Berlin Major.
Obviously, you look at that and know there's quite muted responses from OXG. It's a